Election Day is less than 11 weeks away, and a big choice has to be made. As Catholics, there are many issues to weigh before you cast your ballot. Joining us now to talk more about it is Archbishop Joseph Naumann, chairman of the USCCB's Pro-Life Committee. And Archbishop, what does it mean to vote pro-life? That goes beyond protecting the unborn child in the womb, doesn't it?
Well, it does, but I don't think we want to minimize that. In fact, the bishops in our cover statement to our larger statement on faithful citizenship identified the abortion issue remaining a preeminent priority, and for three reasons. First, because it attacks life when it's most vulnerable, most innocent. Second, because it happens within the family and it destroys the bonds, the most sacred human bonds of a parent and child. And third, because of the sheer numbers, over 65 million lives lost since 1973. And each one of those children have a mother and a father that have been scarred by the abortion experience. So it's preeminent. When I was talking with Pope Francis, I told him there were some that criticized us for that, but he said, why? He said, it is preeminent because if we don't have life, no other right matters. So having said that, yeah, there are other important issues that we also as Catholics have a great concern about. For instance, religious liberty, I think, is also a very important issue for Catholics. And, for instance, we have some on the ticket that, for instance, have said, if you're a Knight of Columbus, or for that matter, an Orthodox Catholic, you shouldn't be allowed to serve as a judge in our country. That should be very concerning to us as well. Racism is a life issue. It's not only destructive to the person that the racial bias is against, but it's an affront to God, because every human being is made in the image and likeness of God, and Jesus gave his life on Calvary for us. So that too, is a very important issue. We need to elect people that will try to help heal the wounds of racism in our country.
As you mentioned, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops approved a document late last year called Forming Consciences for a Faithful Citizenship. It provides guidance to voters during a presidential election year, but doesn't tell Catholics how to vote. Tell us a little bit about it and explain what it means to vote with a Catholic conscience.
Yeah, so I would say, first of all, the church from the very beginning of our country has decided that in a democratic republic, it's not the proper role of the church to tell Catholics who to vote for, either for particular candidates or parties. Having said that, it is our responsibility to inform Catholics in what are the principles and the priorities when they go into the voting booth. And so that's what faithful citizenship, it attempts to form Catholics' consciences, and it brings up a whole array of issues. I mean, there's a moral dimension to so many issues in our culture and society. So we have a concern about all of those, but then we have to look at what the priorities are as well.
All right, so what advice do you have for Catholics when preparing for this upcoming election? How do we prepare ourselves in our minds to cast a ballot that we can be proud of?
Pray, first of all. Pray for the Holy Spirit to enlighten you in your choices. And then secondly, I would say, don't allow party loyalty to govern the way that you vote. That should not supersede your Catholic faith. And so I think we vote our conscience first and parties second. It's important to be part of parties, and every party has its strengths and weaknesses. And I encourage people to be active in their political parties to try and change them in positive ways, but don't vote party over moral issues.
All right, Archbishop Joseph Naumann, chairman of the USCCB's Pro-Life Committee, thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. God bless.
If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then click on the bell to get instant updates about all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.